1 second. Yeah, today we'll be starting our writing sessions. Okay, so for any doubts, what we have discussed, let me know if you have any doubts so far. Vijay Rajshekar. Okay, if you have practicing, right, while practicing anything, PCFs or GOSU queries, whatever the concepts, if anything, if you have stuck, let me know and please get clarified, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Not only now, if future also, if you have any doubts, right, you please place it in a group. I'll clarify that, okay? Because it will doubts will not be there immediately after the session, and once you going to work out, right, that time you get starting your doubts and you will stuck up with something and all. Let me know that time. Okay, sorry, my throat is gone. Little bit disturbances. 1 second. Okay. Okay, or I'm checking for some slides related to rating. Just a minute. Combination. Okay, here it is. Sharing my screen. Able to see?
Yeah.
So today this rating topic is like one of the important thing in Policy Center. This is been in a Policy Center application where it will be calculating used to calculating this concept used to calculating the premium, whatever the cost related premium cost, taxes, and whatever the cost related to the particular policy, right? Everything will be calculated, estimated using the concept called rating. Okay, so certain terminologies there. We'll go one by one. Okay. So what is there here, right? And before that, I'll tell you when this comes into the picture. When this rating thing comes into the picture is in a policy, right? Policy center, when we code the policy while we are giving our inputs, then till code screen. And after that, while we coding the policy, right, we'll give a code button. That time this rating engine is being called from the policy center, okay, and after and that premium will be calculated, then it will be returned to our what is it, policy center, which means rating is not a external system. Here guide it may be an external system, it may act as external system, okay, in some of the projects, but mostly Guidewire itself have a own rating engine. That engine will be called called during the code process. I'll show you those things in the code level where it is called, what is the coding for that and all. First, we'll go for overall view and what are the happening in that. Then later we'll go for coding level. So once that rating engine is called, then that premium calculations for each, how the premium is calculated by getting the cost, calculating the cost for each coverage or each parameter. Then end of the thing, total cost will be added up, then the premium will be calculated. Next, additionally, taxes, surcharges, fees, whatever it is, those will be calculated. Okay. So then it will be displayed in the quote screen. So once that the premium is displayed in the quote screen, user means customer, insured person who is working from in the insurance company, he will be telling to the customer, okay, you got after quote process, you got so and so prices, premium rates. So do you want to wish to go proceed and further issue the policy, like that. So by looking that, person will get a preview of, okay, is that able to afford for them, or is that okay, reasonable prices, they can be compare with some other insurance company. These things will be help for them. Okay. Okay, what is the overall process of rating? So policy center rating review. See, input details, policy details, we are giving whatever it is. They have given here they have given an example for a personal auto. Whatever input we are giving and we are sending to the rating engine. Okay, output is what is the policy cost, coverage cost, taxes, fees, all those things. Okay, so cost in the policy center means it's a monetary amount where it is a what is it minimum thing. Beyond that cost object cannot be split up. Okay, so that is said to be a cost we will use to tell the literally name is of cost. Okay, cost object. Example for that is premium, taxes, discounts and surcharges, whatever it is. Some examples of the cost is vehicle cost and related to what's it coverable means related to personal auto, the vehicle cost will be there. Okay, so all depends on, for vehicle that depends on make, model, year, and this parameters will comes into the picture for rating calculations. Those and all we'll be seeing in our sessions. Okay, so rating is a process of determining a cost of a policy, and what is the rating cost, such as taxes, fee, and other surcharges. Okay. So components of policy center rating management. So how this rating concepts will be managed? We have certain parameters, I mean certain components. Okay, one is rate book, next is a rate table, rate routine, and parameters. Okay, so rate book, these are all interlinked. One rate book at a time, one rate book will be active at time. Okay, so in a rate book, you'll have a rate tables. Okay, rate tables and rate routines. Next, next is a parameter. You can visualize, like you can have it in your mind, visualize it. You can have one book. Okay, like for a layman term, I'm saying you can have one science book. It is said to be a rate book. Okay, it has two parts. One is in a single book. First part is physics, second part is chemistry. Like that, the first part is rate table, the second part is rate routine, and parameters inclined within the rate routines. Okay, that for our understanding I'm telling. Okay, so at a time one rate book will be active. So these are the main components of the rating engine. So that's what I explained. Rating engine have a rate book. If you want, you can take a screenshot. Okay, I don't have slides, but this things you can take a screenshot from this sessions. Okay, so it will be helpful. So rating engine, this have a rate book. Okay, this rate books have both rate tables and rate routines. Okay, each of different parts, and in the rate routines parameter set is inclined it. Okay, so again the rate routines comes to the associated with the rate tables. Okay, so everything end of the part it will be comes under the rate book. Okay, rate process diagram, how it is the processing takes place, that's what keep on explaining this what is it in this course. So the score, once the code is done, rating engine selects a rate book. Okay, selects means is nothing but a code. We have a code for this in our Guidewire system. We here, right, we used to have a code for this. That's why rating engine selects a rate book. This meaning is that one only. Okay, we are calling that rating engine in our GOSU class. Next is the rating engine calls a rate routine for a cost item. For example, coverages. For anything we can have coverage exclusions and whatever other driver parameters, anything for a cost item. Next, it will construct a worksheet for the calculated result. Worksheet means you can check out the each cost for each against each coverage list. Okay, that is will be all comes under the worksheet. Next, it will be written them to the code screen. Okay, this to explain in further for this, I'll show you here once. Stop me if you have confused anything. Okay. Oh, what happened? Okay, let me continue here. Okay, once it is up, I'll explain. So once the worksheet is calculated, again it will be returned to the policy center code screen, and that premium will be get displayed. Premium and other charges. Okay. So what are some actions that takes place in terms of rating after the quote is requested? So rate engine, that process they are explaining what is a rate engine. First, it will calls a rate engine, selects a rate book and calls a rate routine and constructs a worksheet. Then it returns to the policy transaction, quotes transactions. Next, personal auto submission demo. Okay. I think this is the right time. Okay, we'll go for this personal auto. Get one idea.
The purpose of this demo is to teach you how to create a personal auto submission. This is a modified version of the demonstration from the Policy Center Introduction course. If you already know how to create a personal auto submission, you may skip this demo. To create a personal auto submission in the base application, you need to start from a personal account, for example, Ray Newton. Click the down arrow next to search. Next, click Accounts. This is the Search Accounts screen. Click the first name field. Type Ray into the first name field. Click the last name field. Type Newton into the last name field. Click the search button. Click the account number link for Ray Newton. This is the account screen for Ray Newton. Next, we'll see how to create a personal auto submission. Click Actions. Click New Submission. This is the new submission screen. The organization, producer code, quote type, state, and effective date fields have default values. For the purposes of this demo, none of these need to be changed. We want to create a personal auto submission, so click the select button next to personal auto. The first step is to select an offering. In Policy Center, an offering allows us to provide default coverages and it also can be used in rating. Click the Offering Selection field. Select Basic Program. Click the Next button to move to the next step in the submission. This is the qualification screen. This screen asks a few questions to determine if the submission should proceed. For the purposes of this demo, we only need to select an answer for the first question. To do this, click the field next to the question. Is the applicant currently insured? Select Yes. Click the Next button to move to the next step in the submission. This is the policy info screen. Note the effective date of this policy. This will be used by the rating engine to select the correct rate book. Click the Next button to move to the next step in the submission. Here is the driver's screen. Click the down arrow next to the Add button to add a driver. Click on Ray Newton in the existing driver. Now we can see the details of our driver Ray Newton. Nothing else needs to be changed on this screen. Click Next to move to the next step in the submission. The Vehicles screen is where a specific vehicle or vehicles to be insured are added. Click the Create Vehicle button. Click the VIN field. Type 2 in the VIN field. Click the license state field. Select California. Click the cost new field. Type 25,000. Next, assign Ray Newton as a driver on this vehicle. Click the down arrow next to the Add button. Click Ray Newton. Other changes on this screen. So click to the next step in this submission. This is the PA coverages screen. This is used to add and remove coverages from this submission. Select the comprehensive coverage. Select the collision coverage. Next, add a rental car loss of use coverage to this submission. This coverage is on the Additional Coverages tab. Click this tab. Select the rental car loss of use coverage. Click Next to move to the next step in this submission. This is the risk analysis screen. If there were any writing issues, they will be listed here. There are none, so click Next to move to the next step. This is the policy review screen. This screen shows details about the submission such as the effective date and selected coverages. Click the quote button to quote this submission. This is the quote screen. Note the total premium, taxes and surcharges that were calculated by the rating engine. The next step is to issue the policy. Click the Bind Options button. Click Issue Policy. Click OK on the confirmation message. This completes this demo.
Okay, I thought some rating concepts will be discussed, but basic creation of policies were there. It's fine. Yes, problem. Rectify it later. Okay, rating terminologies. We have certain terminologies to know before jump into the ratings. One is rate table, and next is a rate table, rate routines, rate books. Okay, so what is a rate table is it's have a rating static rates in a table format. It's consists of one or more rows. Okay, rate tables example. For a coverage, right, you have given, say, for example, medical payments. You have selected $5,000. Okay, so for $5,000 medical payment, okay, there will be a constant data will be defined in a rate table. Okay, medical payment coverage $5,000, the rate table cost total that should be considered as a factor. Okay, so for $5,000 rate factor is 2. So if it is 10,000, the rate factor is 4. If it is 15,000, the rate factor is 6. So those values will be defined in the rate table. That is said to be a factor. Okay. These and all determined by the business. Okay. If the user is defined, if the user selects this value, this is the factor. This is the value of the factor. So those will be defined in the rate table. Okay. That's what they're saying. Rate tables contains columns representing the parameters. Parameters means, example, coverage, medical payment coverage, whatever it is, collision, comprehensive, basic liability coverage, whatever it is. Okay. For that, look up a value known as a factor. And rate table definition describes the factors and parameters which will be defined in the particular rate table. So that is said to be a rate table. Okay. That's what they're telling. What is a rate table? That contains the static rates in a table format consisting of one or more rows. It will not be changed in between the process of any policy. Once the rate table is changed, determined in the particular rate book, that is constant throughout the rate book, that rate book used. Okay. What is a factor? So the value against the each parameter, right? I told, right? If it is 5,000, the rate factor is 2. If it is $10,000, the rate factor is 4. That value is said to be a factor. Okay. What is a parameter set? Parameter sets, I'll tell you, used to define the usable information available within the rate routine. Well, in this topic comes, I'll explain that. Next is the rate routines. What's the rate routines? It defines a calculating the cost of coverage, taxes, and other policy costs. Okay, it is like a logic to calculate any. It's like looks like algorithm. How the rate routine means, it looks like algorithm. We'll be seeing it. Everything will be not what is it? Imaginary things. Everything will be seeing it. Okay, rate routines is like algorithms used to calculate any premium calculations. Okay. It will have a sequence of steps to determine what's it, logical conditions and mathematical, whatever it is, mathematical variable assignments, everything that will be taken care in the rate routine. Okay. So rate table one, rate routine, another one. Next is the rate book. So all these things available in the rate books, where you can see it in the administration tab, rating rate books. Okay. So this is the pathway to check the rate book is to check any rate books in your system. You can create new rate book if any value is changed. That time versions will be keep on changing of it. Okay, that and all we'll see it in the next classes. I mean consecutive classes. Next is a rating engine and rate flow. What is a rate flow means? How technically or functionally the premium is being calculated, those things, the backend, right? How it is getting, the logic is getting performed. That is said to be a rate flow. Okay. What is a rate flow? The rate flow is a logic in the rate engine plugin that calculates the premium. Okay. Process of implementing rating. What is the process of implementing rating is, while the rating manual remains the same, you have to adjust the content so that it works in Policy Center. That's okay. Move rating content to Policy Center. This and all, the rating manual is the same, but the format is changed. It's not required. Okay. Who is determining these things? Rating analyst, that is the role of the name given to that particular person. Say, for example, if UW issues are has to be approved, right? That is done by underwriter. Similarly, for any rating related things, who is determined to use to those things around? Rating analyst, okay, or actuaries. So these persons role, these persons who have this role, right? Any person who have this role will have a privilege to adjust these rate factors. What's it, to determine the rate factors, and they will be giving those content to the developers. Developers has to develop these things or configure the things in the rate book. Okay, in Policy Center. This is an interesting topic. This are all how to set up a rate table, rate routines. This, rather than I can explain here, we'll go directly to this practical session. There I'll be explaining it. Okay. This is a story card. Say for example, this is where you will get any, if you're receiving any rating related work, right? Like this, your requirements will be there, rating algorithm. So based on this, you have to develop the rate books or rate routines, okay, whatever the things in your policy center. Okay. So yeah, this and all I'll be explaining the practically. Okay. So what is required in rate flow? Logic is rate flow. What is the rate flow? Logic in the rating engine, okay, that performs the premium calculations. What is rate routine? Always what is rate routine means? It's algorithm, set of algorithm used to calculate the premium. And what is a rate table is a rating content in the lookup format. Okay, and these are all available in the rate book. Okay, group of rate tables and the rate routines, everything available in the rate books. Okay. And how with this implementation approach and all, I'll explain you like what is a base class. From that base class, how next next set of code being is called out and all. It is being explained. Okay. Before getting into the code base, first we'll figure out explore what is all available in the rating concepts. Okay. Review. Okay, what's the process that an actuary or rating analyst must? This explaining the rating sheet, right? That requirement sheet they'll be giving in some format, and that will be, once that is ready, only developers will be used to develop using the rating worksheet. Okay, that is what they are telling. Second, cost and financial transactions. See, sorry, what happens when the policy transaction is quoted in a policy center? So rating takes the policy details. What are the details will be, possible details will be taking? Mostly coverages, coverage terms, okay, determines the cost. And apart from that, we'll take the driver in policy center, personal auto, driver age, driver experience, okay, and vehicle model, and the high-end model or luxury model or premium base model. Those things and all comes and act in the what is that, rating determination. Okay, so rating results in a set of cost. The same thing they have explained. What is the process of rating? Okay, so what is a cost here? The cost is a minimum amount. It's a monetary amount that cannot be split up. Okay, that's what it's a minimum unit, smallest unit, which can directly do anything with the price. So commercial vehicle coverable, business line vehicle coverage, whatever it is, personal vehicle coverable, or auto line coverage, whatever it is. Okay, so how it is handled in the cost, how costs are handled in the policy center, how it is related. We have certain what is it, terminologies to determine the cost. Okay, based on this only formula will be get for we have certain formulas, not necessarily to remember it, but one or two we have to know it. Okay, so the cost is an entity in the policy center. Okay, it stores several details related to the rating. These are the terminologies literally we need to accept as it is. Base rate, yeah, base rate. Adjusted rate as ADJRATE. Basis, pro rata factor, term amount, and amount. Okay, in this order itself, if it is, we remember that is keep going, easy to going for have a next level calculations. Okay, how it is getting associated will tell you. See, cost. So total cost of this particular coverage, total thing is $615. But collision coverage for the entire policy term is $11. Okay, comprehensive coverage is for auto 1 is $7. Okay, liability coverage is $317, and rate from auto 2 for liability coverage is $233. Okay, why for auto 2, auto 1 and all, it has two vehicles. That is the understanding of this one. If you check here auto 1, which means vehicle 1. If you check for auto 2, it means it's a vehicle 2. So liability coverage of vehicle 2 is, for that rate is $233. Okay, but the if it is a comprehensive coverage for vehicle 1 is $7. They are notifying it how it is comes totally the cost. So the entire next to the tax comes for general term, not for vehicle 1 or vehicle 2. Okay, it's a general term. So for total tax for this particular cost of particular policy is there is a $47. Okay, if you add everything, then only the $615 comes into the picture, irrespective of number of vehicles. Okay, finally, whatever the cost, right? That every cost will be end up with by summation of each cost. That's what they are explaining. Okay, we have to add up everything individually, and will with the even though the total tax also, then only for that particular coverage cost will be comes into the picture, total cost. So rate scalable object. Okay, what are all the objects associated with the rating? Okay, this I'll explain you after some slides. Okay, yeah, here, right? Yeah, this is one of the very good example. If you check, right, we have coverage term. Okay, coverage term is nothing but comes from the value 6 months, 6 months, or even it will be an annual term. These things comes into the first page, right? We used to have in the policy 6 months or annual term. Next is the effective date, expiration date. These three things comes into the first page of the policy info page. Okay. Next is the pro rata. So pro rata is always for it will be a 1 mostly, or what is it? Mostly it will be 1. Okay, that have certain what's it? That have certain formula, like the length of the time for which the coverage is effective divided by the total number of days in the rating period. Okay, length of the coverage effective days means that what is it? Effective date and expiration date and the coverage term. Mostly it will be get tallied. Okay, if it is annual month, it will be 360 by 360. Okay, for that will be divided and you will get this value pro rata. Next is a basis. If it is basis means it will be mostly it will be available in the lookup table. We have a rate up lookup table, right? There it is available for one vehicle. Mostly it will be 1. Okay, and that is a value against the available in the rate table. Okay, this also I'll show you where it is. Next is a base rate. Base rate means the rate of a particular what is it? Base rate is available particular coverage. It is also available in a rate table lookup. So we will get these values. Okay, we will get these values. Based on this, the below values will be calculated. So rate factor 1, how the rate routine looks up the rate factor. This value also will be get up from the lookup table. Lookup table is nothing but that rate factor, right? That rate factor will be determined these things, all these things. Okay, once these things are determined, these things, the adjusted rate, term, amount, transaction will be calculated. So if you have to keep it in mind, like adjusted rate comes into the first, next term amount, next amount. Okay, amount, next is transaction. If you check this right side, we have a calculation. Base rate into rate factor 1 and into rate factor 2, adjusted rate comes into the picture. This is a formula. Adjusted rate is equal to base rate into rate factor 1. If rate factor 2 is there, then comes into the picture. If rate factor 3 is there, comes into the picture. Okay, so base rate multiplied with rate factors, then adjusted rate, you will be getting it. Okay, adjusted rate multiplied by basis. Okay, then you will comes the term amount. Okay, term amount into pro rata basis, you will get the amount. Okay, next amount transaction, which is equal to amount. We can get that like that. Okay, this part alone you have to remember it, because this will be while you are what's that, interview process or any exams, right? This part definitely they'll be asking it. If you are writing an exam also, based on this, 2 or 3 questions, not 2 or 3, three questions definitely will comes here. Okay, how to calculate these things. See, base rate, why this value, how it is comes into the picture. So the term amount is adjusted rate multiplied by the basis. Here, the term amount, right? Totally. Term amount is nothing but this one. This one, term amount. You can remember it, 80, like shortcuts I'm telling, okay. Adjusted rate, term amount, transaction. Okay, so adjusted rate is equal to BR. Like that I used to remember, B for base rate and star rate. And term amount is equal to TAB. I used to remember TAB, which means term amount, AB adjusted rate, and B basis. So little bit shortcuts to remember these things. Tab term amount and adjusted rate is equal to ABR. Like one restaurant is there, ABR. For that I'm get into the restaurant with the tab, like that, some story. Okay, myself I used to remember like this. Okay. So adjusted rate is equal to base rate into rate factors. So term amount is equal to adjusted rate into basis. Okay. Next amount, this and all will be easy. Okay, this two will be getting confusion. Next amount is equal to term amount into pro rata. Next transaction. Okay. Am I confusing? Any doubts? Are you able to follow? Hi, Vijay, Rashikar.
No delay.
Once we check into this practically, right, we'll get cleared. Almost will be fine with these topics. Okay. So term amount is adjusted rate multiplied by the basis. Next, basis rate coverages, premium calculator from rate and basis amount. Okay. Pro rata factor doesn't apply to basis rated coverages, and basis amount presents the value. Better you take these things for snapshots for your references. This one and this one also. Okay. For reference for your anything. Okay. Yeah. Same thing they have explained for general liability. I don't want to explain these things. Okay. We'll go for directly for the practically how it is getting determined. General. Okay. This is very important. Again, how this cost calculation, right, with the pro rata factor included. What I explained, right, that is what base rate. Base rate only comes into the picture for adjusted rate. Adjusted rate into base is only term amount. So tab, term, TAB, tab. Okay. So adjusted amount. Adjusted rate into basis term amount. This term amount into pro rata, it's equal to amount. Okay. So this, what is a pro rata factor? Length of the effective coverage days and divided by days in standard rating period. Okay. This also please take the snapshot. So how are these values are determined? Base rate, look up at the base rate, lookup table. Adjusted rate, look up base rate into factors. Okay, that is said to be adjusted rate. That adjusted rate into basis term amount into pro rata factor into which is equal to amount, which is equal to transaction. Okay, mostly default this basis rate, right? It will be 1 only. 99% it is 1. Okay, don't want to worry about it. So determining how it is, get the cost demo. Okay. Before that, anything has to explain. Let me check. No, check here.
Now, we're going to examine the costs that were created when a submission is rated. Here's a submission that was created earlier. Note the total cost on the screen, along with the total premium and taxes. Let's look at the rating worksheet. Click the Rating Worksheet button. The rating worksheet shows details about how the costs were calculated. Click the collision coverage to see how the costs for this coverage were calculated.
One second, I have to explain this. See, this is a rating worksheet, okay? If you have seen the previous screen, that rating worksheet button will be available once the code is done. Once that click that rating worksheet, right? You'll have a like this set of things. What is our all this is? First is a this is said to be a what is it? Which vehicle? Okay, vehicle which coverable? Say for example, if it is a personal auto, you will have one coverable as vehicle. If you have if you have a homeowners, you will have a building. Okay, like that. If you have 3 vehicles, you will get another vehicle starting from here. Next, this one, after driver assignment. So once your vehicle is listed, after that corresponding coverage is selected associated with that vehicle, this comes into the picture. Okay, this one. One by one. So I'll expanding each and everything, each cost factor determined with associated with that coverage, everything packed, and it will be what is categorized under each coverages. Okay, that's what.
Click the collision coverage to see how the costs for this coverage were calculated. Note that the details of this calculation are shown. The rating worksheet also shows the details of the tax calculation. Click the tax to view this information. Now, the details of the tax calculation are shown. This completes the
Okay, just they're explaining what are all the things available here. If you are checking for any policy, quoted policy in your system, right? Just expand and check what are all the things available here. Okay, I'll explain you each and everything. Okay, so this, as I said, right, this is a vehicle. Okay, next goes for each coverage. Similarly, they are explained a tax. Once each coverage is explained, then only tax comes into the picture. Okay. Okay, now if you check here, what are all this? This is a coverage name. And what is this? PA underscore RTM underscore demo underscore rating, which is a rate book. Okay, first it has some sequence of steps. Okay, this is a rate book which is used. Which rate book it is using here is rate book name. Okay, PA underscore RTM underscore demo underscore rating. That's a rate book name. This is the 2 is the version of the rate book. If it's the 3rd version, 4th version, 5th version, that number will be, it comes into the here. Okay, that's a rate book version and rate book name. Next comes here is the rate routine. So any rate routine, right? If you check here, it end up with -RR. Okay, that's a standard. Okay, if it is -RR means it is a rate routine. So first is a rate book, next is a rate routine. That also the version of the rate routine is comes into this bracket. Okay, so vehicle coverage premium -RR is a rate routine of version 1. Okay, next comes here. What are all this? These are all the rate routines, algorithms determined in this rate routine. We can check over it. Okay, I'll tell you. That is the algorithms. These are all the algorithms. That algorithm only we are seeing here for any policy of the personal auto. So in the algorithm, right, what they are used, just now I'm telling the high level. Okay, what are all they used here, right? If you check, this is one of the table hyphen, colon base rate, which means it is using the rate table base rate. Okay, so now you come across this is a rate book, this is a rate routine, this is a rate table. Okay, so it is using the value from the table base rate. Here, line number 3, here, it is using the rate table vehicle type factor. Here, vehicle cost factor. Okay, so from the table, you are retrieving this value 10, 1.2 like that. Okay, so I'll tell you each and explain how each value comes into the picture. Okay, next is the similarly, rate table. This is how the rate table is used. Next is the factor. How this is, right? One comes suddenly comes out of blue moon, one comes here. How it is comes. This is the for policy line multi-card discount 1. This is the rate factor. Okay, this comes from the rate factor. Okay, next this is also the rate factor. 48 by 45 doesn't 48 by 48 doesn't mean that it is dividing and we are getting a 1 and all. No, it is if the range is the 48, right, then the value is 1. If the range is 48 to 50, then also the value will be 1. Depends what is the table they are using it. Okay, so next is the or is it here, if you check here, right, where it is here, right, now they are passing the value collision coverage. What is the passing the value of this collision coverage here, right? 25,000 for California state. The value rate factor is 1.2. Okay, so like this everything is comes under the what is that for UW factor. If it is the UW company will be there, right? For that one code will be there. If it is particular code for a particular state, this factor, rate factor comes into the picture, 0.9. Okay, everything. And these are all comes from the rate factor, rate table. Okay, everything that will be used in the rate routine. This rate routine will be associated with the, what is it, rate book. Okay. And now we are checking, right, PA collision coverage. And here we are checking for here PA collision deductible. These are all minimum or these things, right? 48, 48. These are all the parameter sets. The state, this one, jurisdiction. These are all the parameter sets. Okay, so in a rate routine, rate table is used, rate factors is used. Factor means this values 1, 0.9. Next is a parameter sets is used. These are all used and packed in a rate routine algorithms set of steps, and that will be used in the rate book. Okay. And what is the algorithm? That's a sequence of steps. If you check here, right, this arrow mark is assigning value from right side to left side value. Okay. This is a reverse case, assignment of variable from right side to left side. And if you have a plus, we have a plus, minus, division, and multiplication, whatever it is, based on our needs. So these are the values get multiplied to this one, adjusted rate. Okay, if you multiply everything, you will get this value, 102.6. Okay, finally, they are rounding up. RU stands for round up. 102.6 rounding to 103 RU. So this is where this 103 only, you will get it into the rating worksheet. Okay, here.
Let's look at the rating worksheet. Click the rating worksheet button. Let's look at the rating worksheet.
If you check here, right, collision coverage, 103 value dollar you are getting, right? You are seeing. So this is where this 103 retrieved this premium of the one coverage. Okay, which means cost object of each thing comes into the picture, and it will be detailedly explained in the show rating worksheet. And end of the day, it will be get displayed against the each parameter things, each coverage. So this is where 103 comes into the picture and gets assigned to the collision coverage. Like that, similarly for every coverage, it is being calculated and getting assigned here. Finally, the total value will be get added. Okay, subtotal 944. Okay, done. Then only tax is added here. If you come here, CA tax $68. Okay.
The rating worksheet also shows the details of the tax calculation. Click the tax to view this information.
Oh, sorry.
The rating worksheet also shows the details of the tax calculation. Click the tax to view this information.
Click. You're not clicking. Right.
Now, the details of the tax.
Yeah, now if you check, right, this tax calculation, for this also, it will be assigned in the, what is it, particular rate routine. If you check here, rate book is same. If throughout the policy, only one rate book is used. Okay, anything, if PA rating, RTM, demo rating 2, demo rating 2, this is a rate book, but rate routines will be different. Different rate routine for different coverages. Okay, that is a standard. If you check, right, PA state tax RR, this one another rate routine. If you check here, this is another rate routine, vehicle coverage premium. Okay. If you see now, the here the obviously the base rate is 1 by default. This they are using a table of PA state tax. From that they are retrieving this value, and basis, this is also from the what's it, rate factor 944, unscalable amount, whatever it is. Okay, it has certain things, and based on the things only finally 68 is they have arrived. Okay, by calculating everything comes into the picture only. This value
The
comes
rating
here.
worksheet shows details about how the costs were. Let's look at the rating worksheet. Let's look at the rate.
Okay, like that only the CA tax will be calculated, tax, and finally 944 plus 668, it will be comes into the total cost of the policy. Okay. Like this only, any cost will be calculated in the policy center and it will be displayed in the port screen. So this is the end of the demo. We'll go to next. Any doubts here? Okay. Yeah, please take this snapshot. Review cost terminologies. The basic scalable refers to something that is priced according to a term amount of a value being insured. By default, the basis value is 1 for material objects, okay, for such as cars and homes. However, some exposures are activated by amounts like payroll or sales. That is what different LOBs. So this is what is each explained in description, what it is each it is, okay. And cost in policy center, costs are calculated in the rating engine and then they are shown in the code screen. Okay, where do the cost get calculated? Costs are calculated in the rating engine. Rating engine means nothing but the, it has rate book and rate routines. So rate routines I have explained, right, how that the particular numbers are being calculated. That's what it is calculated in the rating engine. So this costs are calculated in the rating engine, and that will be new policies appear in the code screen. And if the policy has a cost and do not apply to the entire term, then the amount and pro rata factors or in the policy center display. So total cost, okay. How financial transactions and cost are related. What is a financial transaction means? Suppose if you check here, so each thing, right, this is here, right, if you this is a submission, okay, and this is a policy change, okay, when you are doing some difference between the two transaction, okay, here the first submission, this is said to be a submission part, this is said to be a policy change. When you are making a you are also increasing your value, by the way your dollars are getting increased, okay. So what is the difference that will be used to get it in the policy review screen of policy change, right? So that difference is said to be a financial transaction. Technically they are telling, okay, not literally, not literal terms, but they do have a specific terms, financial transactions, the difference of two transactions, right? Submission and policy change, that difference is said to be a financial transactions. Here for a collision, there it is increased by $16, but for comprehensive that remains the same. So no differences, okay. So That differences, right? Whatever you're saying, the differences, we have a page called financial transactions. There you can check over it if the difference amount but they will be highlighting, it will be get highlighted what is the difference of the each if the difference is there, that will be get highlighted. Okay, that is said to be a financial transaction. Yeah, here they have explained the same, whatever the things, right? With the personal auto, they have explained from where it is taken and of base rate, rate factor 1 and 1, 2. Okay. And finally, term amount into pro rata, the total amount transaction. So for one coverage, the change is the dollar is $13. Okay. So it is like for 3 months. If it is the first, I mean, the first off or split, we have certain what you will tell it, split basis and all we have. Okay, based on the coverage term, you can remember like that, but based on the coverage term or effective date, slice effective date, window mode, slice mode, those things and all day all are there. I don't want to confuse those things right now. Okay, based on the coverage term, this transaction comes into the picture. Okay, so how this coverage term will have a effect here, pro rata. Okay. First, say for example, if you check here, right, totally 6 months means 180 days term. This is a constant, but this will be changed based on the first part will be changed based on the coverage term. Okay, for the 6 months it will be 180 by 180. For the 3 months to 3 months it will be obviously 90 days. So pro rata factor is determined by the coverage term. That is a key point. Okay. So downstream example for the billing system. So how what they are explaining is, once you quote the policy, right? Quote and issue the policy, this premium policy transactions, that is premium instructions, will be sent to the billing system through billing instruction BI. That is said to be a BI. This we won't see it in the anytime, we won't see it in the UI. Okay, this and all backend process. Once the billing system receive the things only, that will be creating invoices and all. Okay, this, yeah, we'll see it in the integration sessions. Okay. Next, transactions of for earned premium. So I'll explain later. I don't totally different this one. Okay. Yeah, financial transactions.
In this demo, I'll do a policy change transaction that will result in a change to the premium and taxes. For the purposes of this demo, I will add an additional vehicle to a personal auto policy. To start the policy change, click Actions. Click Change Policy. The next step is to enter a description for this policy change. Click the description field. Type adding vehicle into the field. Click Next to move to the next step in the policy change wizard. Click Vehicles to jump directly to that step of the wizard. Click the Create Vehicle button. Click the VIN field. Type 3 in the field. Click the License State field. Select California. Click the Cost New field. Type 19,000. Click the Add button. Click Ray Newton. Nothing else needs to be changed, so click Quote. This is the quote screen for the policy change. Because a new vehicle was added to this policy, the cost has increased by $640. Next, we'll look at the cost change detail to get more information about what changed. Click Cost Change Detail. This tab shows specifically what costs changed during this transaction. There is additional premium and taxes. Keep in mind that this change was very simple. However, this can become more complex if there were more vehicles and changes were made to those vehicles. The next step is to issue the policy. Click the Issue Policy button. Click OK to confirm. Click the policy link. Click Financial Transactions. This is the Financial Transactions screen. This screen has 3 ways to view the transactions. First is just all transactions. Next is to view the transactions by job. And finally, to view the transactions by period. Click on Transactions by Period. This is the Transactions by Period screen. Click the View by Cost link. This is the Transactions by Cost screen. On this screen we can see the details about each cost. Notice that the first set is from the submission. After scrolling down the screen, it's now possible to see that the second set of costs are from the policy change. Next, we'll look at the transactions by job. Click the Return to Transactions by Period button. Click the Return to Financial Transactions button. Click the Transactions by Job link. This is the Transactions by Job screen. Notice that the first set.
You have seen, right? Transaction by job, transaction by period and all. What I suggest is better to go every time by transaction by job to infer to infer any changes, okay, because this will have a clear idea rather than comparatively by transaction by period, okay. My suggestion is this, but is that have an individual different perspective.
Is from the submission and the second set is from the policy change. This completes this demo.
To define cost, how it is relates to your policy total cost. It's a definition, smallest units. Difference between the term rate scalable and basis scalable. Okay. Yeah, better to take this snapshot. Okay. When not a financial transaction can have the amount identical if there is no change. Yeah, no difference in the cost. Okay. That's it about cost and transactions. So any doubts here? So once these 2 topics are done, right? Rate books, rate tables, this 2, 1, 2, and 3, all 3 are done. We can go for practical sessions so that it will be easy. Okay. So rate book represents a rating manual. Okay. And policy center to implement, we need to create a rate book. That is for sure. And this is a process of rate book. Process of rating process. What we explained already. So what is this rate? What is a rate book and in a jurisdiction? So, okay, generally, right, we have if your project is meant for only one state, say for example, if it is only for Australia or only for or any state specific or country specific, right? Then only one rate book is enough. But if your project is working for multiple states in the US, means there will be a for each state a rate book is defined specifically for for each state individually. Okay, see that is what they are saying. Creation of countrywide rate book and jurisdictional rate book. Okay, that rate book logs in the rates and rate routines. Why like this? As a business perspective, a same concept. Okay, we can't sell the same thing in local shops and premium malls at the same price. That the same policy depends on the region or depends upon the people's standard of living, that the price will be get differ. Okay, so that things will be get quoted in the differs in the rate book. Same collision coverage for a $15,000 In Michigan state, it will be the factor will be determined in the rate table factor will be determined too. But in New York, it will be definitely it will be more than that, correct? So that is where the rate books will be differ for different states. So states and jurisdiction rate books can override the common rates. So there are certain common rates also there. Okay, rate books will be used for the certain common things. So this were how the rate books, once my application is up, right, tomorrow I'll be showing up how it is there. So here, this is a rate book. Okay, in the rate book, once you click the rate book, will be like this view. One side rate tables will be there and the other side rate routines will be there. Okay, rate book contains rate tables and rate routines. So what is the static rates? So now we talk about rate books. I understand, right? Rate table contains the static rates in a table format. That's what I explained, right? This is a rate table. For California state, for a particular collision coverage and particular zip code, the rate table is this is a rate table. Okay, from here only you will be getting the values retrieved in the code screen, that rating worksheet screen. Okay, so these are the things. This for this coverage, this is a rate. Okay, similarly like the same thing. Rate table implementation story. How this and all we need to develop as part of as a rating developer. Okay. So on click of this rate book will have rate table. When you click this tab, rate routines will be there. Okay. For rate table also, rate coding, table code and rate name. Rate table's name. This is a table name. If I click this driver age factor, you'll be getting the rate table definitions and all. Okay. See, once you click this one, you'll get like this. Okay. The basic details. And this is said to be a factor. I told, right? For a you remember like in the demo, if it is 48, that should be 1 like that. This is what? If it is a greater than 45 for 26, okay. If it is age till the age 125, if the driver age is 24, the factor is 1.25. If it is greater than 26, the age is 1. Okay. In our last demo, the driver factor, what we have seen is 48, 1. So more than 26, anyway, it will be 1. This is where the rate table comes into the picture. Okay. So this is a rate table definitions they're asking. What's the rate table definitions? What are all available? Basis, for parameters, factors, argument sources, and usages. Nothing but they are saying about this one. Okay. Second. Yeah. So rate table have a specific parameters, okay, and factors. This is a factors and this is a parameters. What is the age minimum? What is the age maximum? So this is said to be a parameters. From where you are getting this values determined. Okay, you understand like we are giving literally 25, 26. How it is getting in related with our policy center entities. So those things only will be seeing it. Okay. So in the parameters, if you check like that, you'll be getting like age minimum and a maximum. This will be getting linked with our policy center driver age. Okay. I'll show you these things, how it is getting related. This plays a meaningful information between our data model entities, say for example, driver entities, how those driver age comes here, getting related with this. Okay. Rate book life cycle. This see that's similar to our UW rules, right? Previously it was a draft, then stage, then testing. It has been successful and all approved. Once it is approved, it is active. Similarly, we have this life cycle. Better to take screenshot. Okay. First is a draft status, next is stage, and next is for testing. RB stands for rate book. Next is a what is it? Testing. It should be successful and all approved. If you want to change any changes, means it should be in a draft status only. Okay. Once draft and if it is in stage, you want to make a changes, means edit to draft, then change the status. Okay. Once it is active in the production, right, you cannot change the content. For that, you have to create a new rate workbook. Okay, I'll show you that also. Okay, rate tables on rate routines are grouped. So this key thing, before that, please take this screenshot. Okay. All screenshots, better keep it in one Word document. Save it as rating concepts and have the screenshots. Next is the rate tables, rate books, and rate routines. How it is each is related. Rate book outer view. It has set of rate tables. Okay. So rate book is editions, and rate tables we have different versions. Rate tables and rate routines. Okay. Edition is different, and rate table and rate routines is different. So rate table versions. So what is the create a new rate table versions and all? I'll show you how to create a new rate tables. Okay, like that rate book editions also. If you are changing to creating a new rate book active, I mean to change the any content and all, then the new edition will be created. Okay, that edition will be used based on our effective dates and all. So see, this is a rate book edition 1. For that, rate tables are there, rate table A and B, and the new something is changed in the rate table. Okay, so B star. So new table is new things gets correlated, and the rate book edition 2 is created, not with the rate edition 1. Okay. Anything is changed, okay, then you have to go for a new edition. That's what they are telling. And selecting a rate book. So this is based upon the dates, policy effective date and the rate book date. That's a reference date. Okay. Reference date and the activation date of the rate book. Okay. And the rate book status. This all determines the picking up the rate book from but determined by the rate engine. Okay. Effective and expiration date. Next is the activation date. Then it's the rate book status. So yeah, this they explained. I'll explain you in practically how it is getting into it. Okay. So export and import rate books. How to export and import rate books? Just give a demo.
In this demo, we will look at the process used to export rate books to an Excel format, edit a rate table, and then import the updated rate table. Let's navigate to the rate book. Click the down arrow. Click Rate Books. Next, we will find the rate books for personal auto. Click the policy line field. Select personal auto. Click the search button. We will work with the demo rating rate book. Notice that there are 2 editions of this rate book. Click the link for edition 2. Notice that this rate book is in an active status. This means that no changes can be made to the rate book. To change this rate book, I'll have to create a new edition. Click the Create New Edition button. Click the edition field. Type 3. The next step is to set when this rate book will become effective. Click the Date Lookup. Select the date when this rate book will be effective. For the purposes of this demo, I'll select the first day of the next month. Click the Update button. Notice this rate book is now in draft status. This will allow us to change the rates. I could edit the rates using the browser. However, I'm going to export the rate book and edit the rates using Excel. To do this, I'll click the Export button and then select Export to Spreadsheet. I'll download the spreadsheet by clicking the download button, and then download spreadsheet. Now I can open the spreadsheet I downloaded in Excel. Notice that the first tab of this spreadsheet has details about this rate book. Click the tab for the base rates. Click the base rate field. Change the base rate to 94. Click the Save button. We now have to import the base rate change back in. To do this, return to the rate book. Click the Edit button. Select Base Rate. Click the Import button. Click the Browse button. Select the spreadsheet file. Click the Open button. Click OK. Click Update. Let's confirm that the change imported. Click Base Rate. The base rate for that coverage is now 94. This completes this demo.
Here they have generally the way that is exporting and importing they explained. Okay, actually, by doing a changes, right? They exported and downloaded the sheet and doing the changes, and again they are importing it. Okay, that is one way. The other way is like without exporting and importing the sheet also, we can do it by rather in the online, the UI itself. Okay, that also, that I'll show you. Okay, that is only will be in the practical sessions. So yeah, I think what is remaining relationship between those rate routines, rate table, rate book have all rate tables and rate routines. Okay, purpose, parameters and factors of a particular rate table, concept of rate table versions and rate book. Any changes to the new rate book and a rate book means active rate books cannot be edited. You have to go for a new edition. Okay. Yeah. This for rate books and rate tables. Yeah, tomorrow we'll see these things and we'll go into the practical sessions. So any doubts? And I think there are certain steps to enable the rate, to view the rate book. Okay, I'll share you the steps tomorrow. As of now you won't see the rate books in your system. Okay, for that one or two steps are there. Long back I have made it. I'll give you those steps tomorrow also. Okay. Then only the trade books will be. We could see the trade book, available trade book in our training app. Okay. Okay. If not any questions, we'll discuss tomorrow. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.